I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting any air in them, taking any air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I show up.
I can't hold on to football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Introducing Mike Cash Collins and Scott Staggs Simpson as the Fantasy Millionaires.
It was all a dream. I used to be a playoff team. Derrick Henry and Calvin Ridley on my starting team. Yahoo trophies on my walls. Every day, lots of smiles with my friends, feeling calls. And now, pain and fear as the playoffs approach. Stacks, welcome to the second to last show to prep for the regular season.
This is the last trades to get paid episode, which to me, it's a sad episode. It's a turning the corner. It's the, I hope you're with us, because if you're not, we're moving on to DFS. We do transition a little bit, but we want you with us in the playoffs. We want you taking home the big trophy at the end, the smack talk in your face, have a taste. You know, our guy last year in the BFFs, he's 3-9. He's back-to-back champ. They fall hard. New years, new crowns, new stories to be told. So I'm really excited. I'm coming back in the BFFs. I'm 5-7, but there's a path for me to get into the playoffs. There's a bunch of 5-7, 6-6, 7-5 teams, man. It is wide open. I cannot wait. Oh, and Deebo Samuel's out. Cha-ching, I got Brandon Ayuk. So it's just, I can't wait. It's a good time.
Yeah. It's scary times. Times. Every league. I'm positive. I'm 500 or better in every league, but man, a lot of tough injuries. The playoffs loom large. Yeah, losing. I have Deebo on a team. I'm that my second highest money league. I have DeAndre Swift on that same team. It's this football, man. You gotta have depth on your team if you wanna make a run at the end of the year. So it's crazy. This is second to last show. I mean, next week we'll be wrapping up week 13, prepping for week 14, the last game of the regular season. So
well, this would be not to interrupt you, but this would be our last week of the regular season if it wasn't for the extended season
right.
of the NFL. So I didn't know how I felt at first. I'm a big union guy, a players guy. I don't want players getting hurt. They're getting more work. They should get more money, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a fantasy football player. Man, I'm so excited. I got one more week to make it into the playoffs. Like,
I love it.
It just adds another dimension, another wrinkle, another day, another dollar, another, a situation where you have to adapt and adjust. And we're here to help you do that. We got some good plays. And also, we want to highlight some great plays that we did last week that we told you to play, whether it was, elevate, mitigate, eviscerate, or whether it was jumping in and talking about stacks of cash with your call, or trades to get paid. We were on fire. So we'll talk about that. But I want to talk about love, hate in the beginning of the show. It's a new segment we're kind of going with now that we really enjoyed. Things we loved about the NFL, and then things we hated, things we do not appreciate. So let's start with love. And I want to give you the floor. What was something that you loved in week 12?
I would say Mark Andrews, two catches last night. He had one catch that was just absurd. Caught it one-handed. Lamar just chucked it down the field. He was draped isn't even the word. I mean, the guy was physically assaulting him, throwing him to the ground, and he reached out with his big mitt, still hauled it in. Then they did another play like that where Lamar's just scrambling around, chucks it, and then Andrews catches a touchdown. I would say that. However, I would like an apology from my so-called best friend, my partner on this show, my partner in the Fantasy Millionaires. Elijah Mitchell puts up another 30 burger, and there's a tweet out there where my partner, my best friend, called me a psycho for spending
no.
$90 to $100 of fab budget. Now, are you going to apologize for that tweet? I would like to know. Are you going to still say something dumb like he wasn't worth every penny of that, or that Jeff Wilson, like Bo's take Jeff Wilson is the better running back? What do you say, sir?
No, I'm going to say that was a good play that you made. I'm going to eat some crow on that one. And I think, to me, you could have gotten him for like 60, and then you could have had $40 more left to do other stuff. So I think, to me, that was just the psycho part of it, was that you didn't have to go 100. You could have mitigated your losses a little bit more. But you know what? That's just how I play. I think it was a great pickup. I really like it now a lot. And I played.
He is the waiver wire pickup of the year. I mean, that's what
against Bo this year, and used him, against Bo just to kind of rub it in his face. So I'm all about, Elijah Mitchell, and I did draft him in 2 dynasty leagues in the 4th round. I thought he was a great play there. So I'm not going to pretend like I don't have some shares, out there. And you were right though. I'm going to eat the crow on that for sure.
I mean, he that dude, Will Fuller breaks his finger 11 weeks ago. Elijah Mitchell breaks his finger. It suits up after 1 week, comes out and puts up, 27 to 30 points, depending on how you score it. And has Debo vulturing touchdowns from him. I mean, you could say, yeah, I could have spent 60, but I think in one league that you're in, you bid something like 60 on. So
maybe I was.
You don't know what people are going to bid, and I would say at this point he's worth $100. Like 100% of your he's going to finish. He might finish as 8th in terms of RB scoring. Like that's his trajectory. That's his path right now.
Yeah.
So that's my love.
All right, that's a good love. I'll tell you what I love. Two things I love. One, the Kendrick Bourne touchdowns. Which your boy went on Osimo on Friday on the contrary, and on the contrary the shit out of that call. That's a on the contrary call. 4,900 on DraftKings. You got his quarterback at 5,400, something like that. So you weren't breaking the bank if you rostered them. 21 points and then 24 points. So I just gotta say I loved that, and seeing him with the long touchdowns. The New England Patriots have a 10.5% explosive play rate, maybe even higher after the last game. So I like seeing that. And then on the other side, also that Colts game was a great game against Tampa Bay, and playoff Lenny, man, holy shit, that guy's the man. Love that guy. That was something that really just stood out to me as just a really fun game, back and forth to watch. So those are the loves. What about you on the hate? What did you hate?
Hated Jalen Rager dropping a touchdown twice to win the game. Two times he dropped the game-winning touchdown.
We were talking on the phone when that happened.
One time it bonks off his head, and then the other, I mean, I don't know which one's worse. The other one was just right in his hands.
Not good.
That was my hate. That was my hate. I think, especially since my best fantasy lineup in DFS was Jalen Rager, and he had 8 points.
Yeah,
so
that's a big barf city. You could have had
barf city.
You could have had a 12-point play at the end of that game to bolster and bolster your rosters up there,
right?
With the ownerships and whatnot. So that's disappointing. I'll tell you what I hated is just seeing all the marquee injuries. This week, you saw CMC go down. He's out for the season. Dalvin Cook is down for a couple weeks. Debo, you mentioned him. He's down. You already have so many people who are out.
DeAndre Swift.
Just it's a smorgasbord of injuries, and we talked about it. That's the league, we know it, but it just seems like a bunch of our favorite players, our first round guys, have been just getting dinged up and down the board last couple of weeks. And so, it's a hard day's night. And I don't like seeing the injuries for these players, for the competitiveness in our league, just for how it goes. That's okay. I'm not like end of the world, but all these guys, you don't want to see them go through this stuff. So I don't like injuries in the NFL. That's what bothers me the most.
I'll tell you what, the league I had CMC in dropped Chuba Hubbard. That's a bummer. I was like, there's no way he's going to get injured again. Gets injured again. CMC 100% is not going 1.01 or 1.02 next year. I mean, people are going to have a memory of what it was like.
Gonna be number one. So
yeah, Jonathan Taylor will be number one. I think probably Derrick Henry will be two.
Yeah.
And then I wonder where CMC is going to go. I mean, is he going to be kind of like the new Barkley? That people are just scared because he gets injured. So
yeah, we have our boy Bo Big Time, Bo _ Big Time on Twitter, the author creator of Hotbox BigTimeFlavor.co. Check him out. Love that guy. He's my man. I don't know if he's not saying Chuba Hubbard, Amir Abdullah maybe. I think I'm just fading this situation. They're not good right now. They're terrible. But anyway, one thing also that grinds my gears is the amount of aggression that I witnessed that was not flagged. There was nothing flagged. And they're going to juxtapose it, of course, with our favorite litmus test, the old point, the terrible point, the worst point of all time, the taunting point. So let's take a look. This is what Aaron Donald did during the game. And then, I got to put Bo's comment down here so I can actually read and see what I'm doing. So this is the situation. And let's watch. This is Aaron Donald choking out a man. He's tapping out. You see him tapping out? He's going, no.
He's faking.
Like, no, I can't. I'm out. Like in WWE.
That's a soccer foul.
I love it. He's choking him out.
He does look like he's actually trying to do like a vocal cord grab, though. That's a weird throat grab he's trying to do. He looks like he's doing like a Darth Vader windpipe constriction move. What is that?
Look, he's
that's
like,
weird.
Stop touching me. You know what I mean? Look, stop. Hey, get off my neck. Get off my neck, bro. Get off my neck. So, like, Aaron Donald, let's go. But that's not flagged, right? And then, okay, so that's just kind of you. Okay, so that's a fake, maybe, right? That's a deep state, fake news. Okay, I got something that's not fake news. All right, something that I think is not fake news, at least if I can get over here to it. And this is, this is between me and you. But I watched Adam Thielen get sucker punched in the back. Have you seen?
I was going to say, is this the Adam Thielen, Josh Norman one?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never seen anything like this. Watching NFL, look at this, and then Josh.
That's how my kids hit each other.
Yeah, that's an MMA. That's you can't do that. That's against the rules. You know what I mean? Like. Send that to the league. And then the person who tweeted out said, Josh Norman out here punching Adam Thielen in the spine. Yeah. What's up with that? I'm not down with that. So the choking and the spine punching. Watch this again. Hey, there's your spine. Double fists. Hammer fists. No, thank you. Those things I say no thank you to. I'm not a fan of those. Choking and hammer fisting. So those are also things I would say I hate. But I enjoy them too. So I enjoy watching them, I'm not gonna lie. But you can't do that kind of stuff. They have to be called, flagged. I think that's what it is. I hate that there's no flags on there. I understand men getting aggressive, being that. Just call flag. 15-yard personal foul. You got one in the book. You do that shit again, you're out of here. Or throw the punch, you're out. Either way. You can't ignore it. And choke slamming somebody, fake choke slam. At least 15 yards. Come on, man. You can't touch someone's neck. You respect the neck.
Yeah. I mean, in the 70s, you got into a scrum or a pile, they were trying to poke your eyes out. There was all sorts of crazy stuff.
Your testes and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this has been going on. I mean, how many years ago was it when Myles Garrett
tried to swing a helmet at somebody?
Yeah, tried to attack somebody with his helmet.
He had no helmet on, by the way. It'd be different if he swung a helmet at a guy with the helmet on. But that guy had no helmet on because he took it off and he was hitting him with it. One of my favorite.
It was. I think this was like a meme on Facebook right after that came out. It was like, now we know why the Browns have a helmet as their logo.
That's hilarious. Yeah. See, Bo says he was squeezing the trachea. Yeah. I agree, Bo. That was some bullshit. You can't do that. You can't go squeeze another man's trachea. when you're playing football. You keep your hands to the chest. I played football, Aaron Donald, for like 3 years. I understand. I got my ass drug in the mud one time by the back of my horse collar. Your boy Ryan Ward would have been throwing a flag the whole time on the play. My own teammate grabbed me by the horse collar, pulled me in the mud. Guess what I couldn't do? Choke him, right? I had to hit him up here like a man, Aaron Donald. By the way, I don't want you to come see me, Aaron Donald. You would destroy me in like 6 breaths. I'd just be like,
did you get in a fight last year with somebody too at a bar? What happened then?
Yeah, I think he punched some guy out, just gave him the beat down. I mean, this guy's an aggressive man. He's got short guy complex, So
we played a preseason fight of him too with the Dallas Cowboys tackle.
Was it Martin? Was that?
I forget who it was. It was a good fight though. It was pretty even if I remember how it went. It was it was back and forth.
He flipped him. I remember that at the end. He did like a judo move.
Yeah, the Cowboys guy, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
No, that was good. So, all right, those are love hate. Let's talk about Trades Get Paid. Trades Get Paid brought to you by RunTheSims.com. My guy Justin Freeman over there helping you win money. Helped me win my double up this week. Got me in the $225 range. Thank you, Justin. Let's talk about last week. By the way, my guy Jalen Waddle was the number 1 wide receiver on the slate last week. You're welcome. My other guy, didn't do too bad. I'm not gonna talk great about him, but he did pretty well as well. So. I'm just gonna. I forgot his name, so that's one reason why I can't talk too great about him. I got 2 more plays. What about you? How'd your guys do last week? You got any?
I had Kirk Cousins and T. Higgins for last week. So, if you got T. Higgins and then you were able to start him, it's a great week.
T. Higgins is my guy this week, by the way. He's my second guy this week for sure.
Is he? I only have one guy. I mean, it's over, man. Good luck. This is it. Yeah. Most leagues are already done. I mean, we have one of the later leagues for trade deadlines, but you can't trade past this point. It's cheating. So this is it. Ours is Friday. I got one guy. The only guy I got. I just think if you have an opportunity to get a tight end, that looks like they can put up double digits, 3 out of 4 games on a pretty consistent basis. They're just worth a lot. And for me, Cole Kmet is fitting that role. He had 11 targets.
Holy shit.
11 targets on Thanksgiving. Yeah. So gobble, 8 receptions, 65 yards. He's emerged as someone that is going to not really play the traditional old school tight end. He's going to play that Kelsey, Gesicki, Kyle Pitts type position where he's getting out on a ton of routes and they're looking to get him the ball as much as they can. So there really is tiers to the tight end position, and the guys that fit into that model, there's only a handful of them, and it looks like Cole Kmet is going to fit into that role. Depending on how he finishes the season, it's going to be very interesting to see where he goes in 2022 drafts. But I would spend something decent to get him if I was weak at tight end and I had a plethora, a stable of players where I could give somebody good away.
Yeah, no, I like that call. I'm going to go wide receiver, and I have this guy in the BFFs, and I think because of the Debo injury, it does just elevate Brandon Ayuk into a role where he is going to be getting 8 to 10 targets a game. I don't think he's got the run potential of Debo. Of course, they're going to probably get your boy Elijah, Mitchell some more yards, some more touchdowns. Hopefully, that increases his value too. Kittle goes up in value as well. But I mean, you're going to be using him to get into the playoffs. There's basically 5 more weeks left in the season, and so in the next 5 weeks, do you think Brandon Ayuk can come up and play big like he did last year when Debo was out? And I think he can. His split when Debo was out he was the number 1 wide receiver on that team. So I really do like Brandon Ayuk this year. And I picked him up off the waiver wire a couple of weeks ago, told people to get him, told him if he was on there, he's going to come out of the doghouse, and he has. And so I think he's just somebody you should go out and grab. Maybe the Debo owner or roster or wants to get him, get a little value for him. So you could do something like that too. If you have him and you want to get some value for him, now's a good time too to trade him away. So I think he's a little hot commodity going up in value right now for sure.
Yeah, I think also you've already seen pre-Debo injury that he's starting to become the wide receiver one on that team. They're using Debo in so much at running back that he's getting less targets, and Ayuk is still, just getting a solid share of targets. So I think pre-injury he was already emerging as the person that they were looking to get the ball to. And there was a point at which 70% of the targets on that team went to Debo Samuel, and that trend has changed over the last few weeks with Ayuk emerging. So for sure, with Debo being out, it only gives him even more value.
Yeah. No, I'm down for the pound with that. So that was Trades to Get Paid, brought to you by RunTheSims.com. Please do check it out. Link down in the description if you're watching on YouTube. It is free. You can sign up for Run the Sims. They got lots of great tools. If you want to pay to play and do what me and Bo do, we're on the Sims, then you can, but you don't have to. So I like that. All right, let's jump into The Wire, presented by Occupy Fantasy. There's a few people left on The Wire this week for sure. People dumped, people who have been maybe discarded because of matchups or lack of necessity, now burning with need. Let's start a quarterback. Who are you looking to see who might be left for naught on the waiver?
I mean, is there anybody, if you're in a 12-man league? I saw in one of the leagues we're in, Derek Carr over on the waiver wire. I would definitely grab him. He has a great matchup. I'll give away my Elevate QB right now. It is Derek Carr.
That was mine too, you mother chunker.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. But beyond him, I mean, really, Andy Dalton. I mean, who else? There's nobody. I mean, it's tough sledding.
Here's the thing. Carson Wentz could have been dropped previously. If he is available, scoop him up with a quickness.
Sure.
Maybe I personally dropped him myself, so I know it is possible. But I have Dak, so I'm not too worried. The next 5 weeks I'm playing Dak Prescott. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
You don't draft Dak Prescott to not play Dak Prescott. I also have CeeDee Lamb. I also have Dalton Schultz. I have Gallup. So I've got the whole Dallas Cowboys. So roll Dallas Cowboys. Bo McBrayer is going to love that. And I want him to play well. And if he doesn't, I'm not going to win. Who cares? I'm out. It's over. But yeah, no, I like that. That's a nice elevate for me or a wire. For me, I'm looking to do the same. At running back, who do you have? The people that they're saying to get, like Alexander Madison, he's not going to be on the wire. Like I maybe.
Right.
In leagues, maybe, but you've already seen this play before. Like maybe somebody got squeezed out and they had to drop him, but no one in my league, in any leagues, have dropped him ever.
So the injuries are, you got Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
For what's that?
Matt Breida.
That's who I was going to say is the pickup of the week. But for the injury guys, you got Alexander Madison, you got Jamal Williams. You also got that guy, Godwin Agabwike. I don't know how you say his name, but you remember there was a time when Williams was out and they loved the two running back sets.
Yeah,
and he broke one.
He did.
Didn't really do much last week, but just somebody to,
if you're desperate for sure.
Yeah, he's a grasper. They're saying
good.
They're saying DeAndre Swift's got a sprained shoulder. That doesn't sound good.
No.
I mean, sprained shoulder. It's pretty vague.
He looked in a lot of pain. He didn't get up. I mean, he got banged. He just laid on the ground.
So
you got Chuba, you got Amir Abdullah for the McCaffrey team.
Who do you favor? Bo's an Amir Abdullah truther. He's not leaning Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I would say the safe pick is Chuba. He's got more experience in the offense. He's filled in nice. I know Bo hates him. He always says his hands are rocks.
Yeah, he does.
But I mean, again, neither one is that sexy. Yeah, to me, the pickup of the week, the only one that isn't because of injury, that's just emerged as a talent pretty late in the season, is Matt Breida. He really has come on and
double-digit points 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and you're seeing what they like to do with him. I think he really does fit into that offense well.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised that he just fell off a cliff last year. I've said it before.
How to use their running backs as well. They're just figuring it out now.
Yeah, and I mean, Gaskin emerged as, I guess, the more talented guy, and I just was shocked by that. I really thought Breida was going to go to Miami and do what he did in San Francisco. I think Breida is probably the main guy you want to get off the waiver wire this week in terms of running back. So I would spend, if you have a lot of fab, I would definitely waste some on Breida. Again, it's a Buffalo running back. We've seen how this goes, but I do think one of the things that Breida brings is an element of explosiveness that I do believe that, for instance, that touchdown that he had Thanksgiving night, where they got him out in some space and he had a couple blockers, and then boom, he finds the end zone. I think that's a play that they could run again and again with him, and he can pick up chunk yardage.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. By the way, J.D. McKissick revenge game, second touchdown of the game. The Washington football game. Yeah, nice. I got him in the BFFs. So, just another reason to be excited for the next couple of weeks. I got some good players on my team. So, I like what you're saying. You're picking up. I am picking up what you are putting down with Breida. I would also say, I told you last week to snag Dontrell Hilliard. He scored 20+ points. That was a pickup. We said you need to grab him. Now he's on a bye this week, so he might get left on the waiver wire, or people might be going after him. He's not going to be usable this week, though. He is going to have to wait a week. So just it's a FYI for friends who are maybe reacting a week slow to the news of the pickup. We did peep you to him last week, just in case you wanted to know. Cutting Edge, trying to help you win your league. We've been there a little bit earlier than everybody else. That's kind of how we're trying to do it. Let's jump to anybody else you want to talk about? We can go to wide receivers.
Let's go to wide receivers.
All right, this is a plethora of wide receivers there. If you had to get one guy, who's your guy? This one guy this week you want to get?
I didn't really have anybody that was jumping out at me. The person I'm most interested in getting is Deshaun Jackson. I think a few weeks ago I brought up Bryan Edwards, and somebody has to fill the Henry Ruggs role. And again, Derek Carr is a fantasy millionaire's favorite in 2021. I love Derek Carr. I think everybody loves Derek Carr now. How you feel about him in terms of fantasy? He can deliver the ball. He delivers a beautiful deep ball.
Yeah, nice.
And Deshaun Jackson still got the Jets. Still got it. I think he's worth snagging. And when he has matchups like he does this coming week versus the Washington football team, right, where he can get deep, Derek Carr can put it on the money, man.
Yeah.
And it's a shame what happened with Henry Ruggs, because I believe he was just going to get better and better as the season went on. They really do love to take shots, and so I think it really plays well to that team to be able to get somebody like Deshaun Jackson, who that's all he's there for, is to take shots,
Right. Yeah, if you're chasing upside, that's a really good play. So I would say that the pickings are slim. There's not anybody who I'm targeting heavily. I'll put in a few bids. You got Russell Gage caught a touchdown. Laviska Shenault was targeted a bunch. So there's a few people out there. MVS maybe down the stretch, but there's nobody who I'm breaking the bank for or I care that much about. Even T.Y. Hilton. I don't know. So
yeah, I mean, it's the wire, and we're headed into week 13. I mean, it's tough to find guys.
Yeah, so that's a good question, by the way. LeBron's brain. I like, that's a nice name there. I don't know if that is necessarily the case. I just think it needs to be a 3-game stint whenever you get put on the IR. There's a short term or a long term. So maybe that's the case, but I think really he's injured. Like, I don't know if he can come back, and their season is not saying it's not salvageable, but they're trending in the wrong direction. So maybe just he wouldn't be back in time. The length of the injury wouldn't behoove them to race him back for 1 week. So they shelve him there. But good question though. We can delve deeper in it. We need to get Jamie on it. We'll have to find Jamie. Or ask CD Carter. We can borrow one of his interns. Okay. What about tight end? Let's jump over here. We won't get bogged down in the wire. We got a late mitigated Eviscerate. DFS Stacks of Cash, 3 treats, lots of stuff to talk about. What about in tight ends?
Tight ends, just got one. James O'Shaughnessy, he back. He was featured on the wire in the beginning of the season, and then he got injured, and then they got Dan Arnold, and now Dan Arnold is injured, and now James O'Shaughnessy is back.
You're just
and
like the white guys.
That team is absolute trash. Everyone stinks, but they do get the ball to the tight end. So he's a fringe double-digit plug-and-play tight end.
Yeah.
If you're weak, I would pick him up. You want to roster a few different guys and figure out which matchup you want to use him in. I think O'Shaughnessy is going to have value.
I've got a guy who I'm targeting, and that's Foster Moreau. With Waller out, you saw what he did when Waller was out. He caught touchdowns. He was targeted, a bunch of times. So I think in this matchup against Washington, they're going to have to throw the football. It's going to be a nice little game total. So I'm going to go Foster Moreau, pick him up, grab him, play him next week.
I don't know why I always want to call him Fabian.
I've said it so many times it's wrong. I put it in the ether, I'm sure.
Is that right? Or did you infect me with the Fabian virus?
Yeah, I had to look
I always want to call him Fabian.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
That's probably the first Moreau that you're in, besides the doctor of the Isle of Dr. Moreau. So and I got one for you. I mean, Jack Doyle, man. Sorry, no Cox for you, Mike. It was a Cox free.
That was almost on my hate list, but the lack of Mo Alley Cox in my 50% of lineups that I had him in DFS.
Your Cox was
too
small. Yeah. No. So those were mine. What about DSTs? What about a little defensive action? I got one that you should.
Does it start with a V?
No, but that's a good one.
Yeah, Vikings versus Detroit. I'll take the Vikes.
Yeah. I mean, maybe my guy's not available, but I'm going Miami, man. Ooh, they started 1-7, and now they're 5-7, I think. So they've won.
That's a good D. Yeah, they're back.
They're back. The D's back, baby.
The D is back.
They're making a run. They could be 9-7 or 10-7. Really.
Tua looks good too, man. I mean, you can't really have a good defense unless your offense is capable of controlling the clock and staying on the field and letting them rest. And so the formula is there now. I mean, it's a good defense.
Yeah, no, I agree. So Miami's the DST, and then later they're going to be my Elevate, just in case you want to know. So those are mine. That was the Wire, brought to you by Occupy Fantasy. Brian Jester is the man over there. Check him out in the link description down below. You can sign up for like a week, get like a month. You can get a year. You can do whatever you want over there. We use it to make our Millie Maker builds every week. Bo Big Time and I on chalk block. So let's get into Elevate, Mitigate, and Eviscerate. I do want a victory lap real quick before we do, because last week Mac Jones told you to pick him up 21.5.
You bet 1,000.
Yeah. Mac Jones.
Trevor Lawrence versus Mac Jones. Yeah, he got 30 in the BFFs. Trevor Lawrence only got 20.
Anyway, Tony Pollard, I told you to pick up 16.8. Darnell Mooney 17.5, or Brandon Ayuk 17.5. Knox 18.2. So just a bunch of plays I told you to make last week. I think it was Darnell Mooney 17.8, but just good plays across the board from your boy. And I wanted to let people know about him, because this is the thing. You can only be your own tout in some ways. If you're doing a good job, let people know. If you're sucking, say, hey, these are some of the calls I need to improve on. So those are some of the calls I hit on to elevate last week. What about this week? Where are you leading off? Quarterback, who are you elevating?
Yeah, I'll do mine last week. I did Trevor Lawrence, Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson has 17 points in the BFFs. I did Brandon Ayuk. I did Gronk.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Bears D. So that wasn't
great, but still.
Yeah. But
I didn't even give you a D. So all yours were crushes as well, except for maybe Trevor Lawrence.
He got 20 points. He wasn't, he wasn't horrible. He just, he didn't Mac Jones it. So, okay, this week, I said Derek Carr versus the Washington football team. The number one worst defense or the 32nd best defense versus QBs. Depending on how you score it, they're giving up an average of 28 points, so close to 30 points at the position. And I think that this is going to be a game where, Derek Carr does what he does. You're going to see Fabian get some love. You're going to see you're going to see Hunter Renfrow get lots of love. Yeah. And, maybe we'll see I'm sure we'll see shots to Deshaun Jackson. So, he's been successful all year long. I mean, that dude just gets open. So I'm expecting that to continue versus the Washington football team.
No, I like that. Derek Carr is mine as well. And you're missing Darren Waller, but I think it's Derek Carr. I think that's the guy who makes this team work. Not that Darren Waller doesn't. He's a great tight end, but you see what Foster Moreau can do as well when he was in there. It's just they know how to move the football. They're figuring it out. Josh Jacobs is doing well, so I like it a lot. Let me start running back. I'm going to say go Gaskins against New York. They finally figured it out. Gaskins is being consistently featured in the pass game. He's the guy. This is the lowest total on the board. It's only 41 and a hook, which is not great. But Gaskins has a role. He is that RB1 that you hoped he would be. So I think you can roll with him and be secure with him. And then my second guy I have is Matt Breida. If you need an RB, New England gives up a little bit of the chunk change to the RB who's getting the passes out of the backfield. Look what Hilliard did to them last week too. So those are my two guys. How about you?
Man, can you imagine what that game would have been like if Derrick Henry was in there? I saw a tweet. It was something like it was a picture of a QB with the number 4 on it, and it was the name of the QB. I guess he was a college guy or whatever. His name was Likely, so it said Derrick Henry versus the New England Patriots, and it showed a picture of Likely 4, and then they wrote 0-0 after the 4, Likely 400. Because Dontrell Hilliard just ate them alive on that one play. I mean, you could have seen multiple plays like that from Derrick Henry. So I agree with you that does seem to be for whatever reason. You know what? I won't even say that's I don't think the Patriots have any weaknesses. I'll just say that is one of what the Titans do well. I mean, they're good at blocking and creating lanes. So I like Breida's a good one. Who was the other one you listed?
Gaskins.
Gaskins. Yeah. wanted to say something about him too, because I'm so tired of fading that dude, you know, and listening to people fade that dude. When they get in the red zone, that guy is on the radar for the Miami Dolphins. When they get down, sub 10-yard line, he's getting handoffs and he is getting passes. So I really like the Gaskin elevate for.
He's the RB14 right now. He's averaging, 12.7 points per game, 13 points per game. Like that's what you want, in that RB2. And so I would definitely just keep rolling with him. I don't think you got to kind of worry about him anymore. I think that's something that we're done with. So,
right. I'm with you.
Yeah.
For me, my running backs are I'm going with both Broncos RBs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just give me Melvin Gordon, give me Javonte Williams. If you have both, start them both. If you have either one, start either one. They're both so good, man. Everybody was, thinking that at this point in the season it was going to be Javonte Williams' backfield. It isn't. It isn't, because Melvin Gordon he's a beast.
He's for a contract. He wants to play for somebody next year.
He's just really he's a great running back. I mean, he's not done. It's not over for him. Nothing has changed with Melvin Gordon. He's been really good his entire career, and he's still really good. And it's a good matchup versus the Chiefs. I think, the Broncos, you saw what happened with Teddy Bridgewater getting banged up. Their whole methodology now, and they're potentially a playoff team with their amazing defense and their clock control, and they're not going to do anything different versus the Chiefs. Their only path to be able to win that game is to control the clock and, get some turnovers.
Not getting a slugfest.
What's that?
Not getting a slugfest.
Yeah, they can't do that. So they're like, their formula is so predictable. So I love both those running backs. If I have them in my redraft leagues, and I will definitely be looking to elevate them in DFS lineups, because they're usually in that, 5,300, 5,200 price range. I don't know where they'll be this week, but they're not going to be much higher than that if they are.
Yeah, no, I like that. Let's jump to wide receiver, and I've got one for you. Maybe you didn't trust him, maybe you didn't know what his role was going to be, but Odell Beckham Jr.
He starts with an O. That's my guy too.
Oh, you have that for. He's going up against Jacksonville, one of the poorest secondaries in the league. Atlanta didn't exploit him too much just because Matt Ryan is hot garbage these days. But Matt Stafford can. So Odell Beckham Jr. is my guy this week. I like his upside. Flash last week, got you over 20 points. And he was only priced at $5K too in DraftKings. Real guy. And on the other side, you can get Van Jefferson too. Van Jefferson got 2 touchdowns. So my bench almost scored 200 points this week. I'm kidding. But so I'm glad. What do you see in Odell Beckham?
I see that he had a bye week to learn the playbook, and he had 10 targets in the last game. So there's no Robert Woods. They need him. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games. This is a get right game for them. I think they're going to stomp them. I think it's a foot on the throat. Cobra Kai, no mercy.
Yeah. I think the defense scores a touchdown at least in this game too. Jalen Ramsey coming back, revenge against a team he mercenary to get out on. I mean, oh man, it's just fraught with peril for Jacksonville. They're in big doo-doo, man.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is going to be a mauling. I mean, this is going to be a mauling, and I think Odell Beckham is going to get 10 targets again. Yeah. So, elevate a guy who's going to get 10 targets.
I love it. I love it when we're simpatico. Those are just always fun times because we don't show prep together like we do. It's not how our
we like to do surprises on each other. We like to see where we're coming with.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're not going to see a surprise this one because you've been listening to the show. You know I'm loving this guy this week. I was going to go Foster Moreau. I'm going to go him. He's going to be in that offense with Derek Carr. He's got the upside. He's going to get 8 to 10 targets. Maybe not 8 to 10. Maybe get 7 to 8 targets. But I think against Washington, they're going to need to move the football. They're going to need to be in a back and forth kind of game with them. And I think they can play that game. I think the total is up near 47, something like that. I don't know. It's a pretty high total already. So I definitely would be playing him this week, elevating him. You can get him off the waiver wire probably cheap too.
I'm going to go on the other side of the ball in that game with Logan Thomas. Yeah, he's been on a pitch count a little bit, I think, tonight. He's only got 2 receptions, but I think it's by design. They're limiting him. What I've already seen in this game, he seems fine. I think they're just trying to protect that hamstring. And I think, as long as there's no setbacks, this is a juicy matchup. The Vegas Raiders right now versus tight ends are third best to be playing against.
So they're 29th.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah. So 30th, right? They're the 30th.
Basic math. They not my forte. Yeah. And that's good. That's good for you if you're playing him.
So we like both those tight ends. You like Foster. I'll take Logan Thomas.
Yeah, sounds like a great little back and forth double stack and a little DFS sneak around. So
right.
And then defense, man, I'm going Miami. The game against New York is the lowest total on the board, 41 and a hook. It's so low. That's like gross low. I've not seen that in a while. Most games are over 44, 45, 47, 50 maybe. This game just has the lowest total. So I like Miami to kind of dominate Daniel Jones, turn him over, maybe get a touchdown. So go Miami. If you're not starting them, you should be.
The Giants have consistently played to the under. I'm not surprised that Vegas has that as a low.
Their offense is
total.
not able to do well. Their defense didn't play terrible against the Eagles. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is their defense has surprisingly stymied teams throughout the season. I mean, their box scores are all kind of always like that. Teams are beating them, but it's like 20-13. There's a lot of games like that. So it'll be interesting to see what the Dolphins look like.
I agree.
I went with the Vikings versus the Lions for my D. So get them off the wire, throw them in your lineup.
Smart. I like it. All right, let's talk about players to mitigate on your bench. Who you benching here, bro?
I'm going to go ahead and say bench Russell Wilson versus the 49ers. Yeah.
Oh, talk to me. I want to hear why.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to, count Russ out. Maybe next week is the week that he he steps back. Yeah, maybe he gets right. I mean, I've seen him tonight so far. Have some good throws. He threw a touchdown to Gerald Everett that was just sick. It was just classic Russ. And then I saw him have plays where he overthrew Gerald Everett, and everyone's like, "Oh, his hand is still so messed up." Regardless, I'm not even just saying it based on kind of where he's been trending. It's kind of that coupled with the fact that the 49ers are just emerging as a really good football team, and they're doing it well on both sides of the ball. And their game script is, again, they have so much time of possession. It limits the opportunities for the other, the offense, the other offense that they're playing versus. So, the fact that Seattle has no real viable, run game, I just think it puts Russ in a position where he has to play hero ball. And he's just not there at the moment. Maybe next week, it's a divisional matchup, and Teams always kind of will surprise each other in those moments, but from where I'm sitting in the bleachers, I would bench Russ this week if I have the ability to.
I'm not going to hate on that. I'm gonna go even crazier, bigger name. I think you should bench Josh Allen this week.
I could never say bench Josh Allen, bro. So I like the cojones.
I'm going to tell you.
The pay. It's a good week to bench him if you can.
If you can, if you can't, don't. But here's why you bench him. He's 2-3 versus the Patriots in his career, right? He's got 7 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's got 77% passer rating. He's not played that well. He's not played that well. Bill Belichick likes to stymie him. He likes to blitz him. He likes to do what they did down in Jacksonville to him earlier this year, is put a bunch of guys on the line and just run at him, and it causes, it's the thing, when you're blitz like that, most quarterbacks aren't better. That's what makes people, like Derek Carr, he's not better when he's blitzed like that. Other quarterbacks that excel, this guy does not. Josh Allen's still not that great when he's blitzed. So I just think this is a game. If you have somebody else, go somewhere else. Josh Allen. This is a divisional matchup. I don't think that it's going to be a huge shootout. I think it's going to be cold. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be is it Thursday night they're playing? It's like, or is it the late game on Monday night? I'm trying to figure out when the game is.
It's Monday, next Monday. It'll be during our show.
So yeah, I'm going to say if you have somebody else, go somebody else.
Here's why I love it too. First of all, I have never hated the Patriots. I've never hated Tom Brady. I've never hated Bill Belichick. People want to say that they cheat to win, whatever. I think Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. And for me, as a fan, it's cool to see what he's now doing, reestablishing who he is. The fact that there is a potential storyline for a meetup between Brady and Belichick is just so cool. And if the Patriots win this game, they're now trending towards having home field advantage. So throughout the playoffs, the playoffs might roll through Foxborough. So I think Belichick is going to do everything in his powers to win this game. And what do you have to do to beat the Bills? Belichick, this is what he does. He takes away whatever is best about that team, and if it's their quarterback, then he makes things specific to that quarterback. And I'm very interested to see what he just determines for Josh Allen, because that entire team is 100% based on how successful he is in his decision-making process. So I'm excited because I like the call. It's just Josh Allen is so good. It's a cojones call, but I agree with you. I think the Patriots are going to win the game. It's not something that I would bet a lot of money on. The Bills are really good and Josh Allen's really good, but I think Belichick's going to do weird, cool things to disorient Josh Allen. So I like it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. So let's talk about running backs that you want to mitigate. Who are you mitigating for running back? Anybody?
EH versus the Broncos.
I like that. That's a very good call.
Yeah.
No, that does stand out to me as somebody who he came back, he played well.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. It's hard nowadays to mitigate people given kind of where everyone's at, but I'm confused about the way that the Philadelphia Eagles are using their running backs. So like Boston Scott, all of a sudden it's getting goal line work. I don't understand. So if you got Boston Scott or Miles Sanders, both of them to me, they're just risky. And then
you got Gainwell too,
Gainwell's in there too. That three-headed monster. And if Jordan Howard is coming back, he's not injured this week. I don't think he's on IR, but that whole running back situation, they have a great matchup against the Jets. It's a great matchup for running backs. They give up the most points. I just don't know who to pick. I can't say both. I can't say play both Boston Scott and play Miles Sanders. So it's just that's a tricky one there between the two of them, kind of where that offense is trending. He had 15 attempts, Boston Scott, and that was kind of weird. Miles Sanders, when he was in, he actually ran better at a clip. He was running at 7.1 yards per carry. He only got 9 carries. I don't understand that. So like that offense kind of confuses me. And then there's also Jalen Hurts down there too. He can do some things with his feet too. So that to me is a backfield that I'm mitigating the whole backfield. Or if I only have one of them, if I have to start them, I'll roll with them. But I play somebody else like Tony Pollard or Madison or Hilliard, whoever over. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm mitigating the entire Jets wide receiver core versus the Eagles. So
yeah, Zach Wilson, his decision making is terrible. That is what stands out to me. It's not that he can't play quarterback, but he's got a good arm. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to read defenses. There's a hot take. He can't read defenses. So
that's the I mean that's really the determining factor there too. It's interesting, man. Preseason, it's just funny how you can get a little hyped and see plays that players are making. I really thought all 5 of the QBs were going to be monsters. I thought Zach Wilson was going to be a monster. He looks like hot trash, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, he does not look long for the NFL. He really doesn't. He just looks like he's still gotta get some bone in his chin and stuff like that. I mean, he just still looks like he needs to, sleep a little bit more and grow a little bit. And just
boy, it looks like
it just looks like a child in a man's game. I mean, there's no doubt he has the arm talent. And here's the other thing too. It's just the Jets. This is why I was not high on him, because you just think, oh, he's on the Jets. And I saw somebody tweet the Jets had 2 chances to pick Mac Jones in the first round. And the truth is that if Mac Jones was on the Jets, he wouldn't be Mac Jones. It'd be interesting to see what Zach Wilson would be like on the Patriots. It's just organizations, they determine a lot with your whole football career. And, I think right now, I think the Jets are better with Joe Flacco or Mike White. So it's a shame. And then on top of that, this matchup, you have the Eagles are number 3 versus wide receivers for fantasy points. They're one of the best at stopping wide receivers. So I think it's just, and then you just don't know who's going to get the touchdown. You got Corey Davis, you got Elijah Moore, you got Jamison Crowder, you got Keelan Cole. So I'm putting all of them on the bench.
Yeah,
any of them and all of them.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. This is tricky for me. I don't know if I want to, fully put my name behind this, but I mean, Mike Williams, he's getting targeted,
but he's almost evisceratable.
No, you can't eviscerate him. But this week he's going up against Cincinnati. They're not terrible, they've actually been pretty good.
He's so boom or bust.
He's 100% boom or bust, and you need stability. And Cincinnati's been playing well. They only give up about 33 points to wide receivers. If you think about it, Austin Eckler is a little bit of a wide receiver there. You also got, Keenan Allen just getting more targets, and they haven't been playing well. They have not been clicking the last few games too. So, previously they had against Pittsburgh, but you saw what anybody can do against Pittsburgh this week. By the way, smash the Ravens -3 against Pittsburgh. That's insane. That's -7. Holy shit, Pittsburgh's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar is vowing to play better, so it's going to happen. But yeah, anyway, that to me, I'm just looking to fade for now, and sorry, Williams, I love you, but it's not this week.
I like it. All right, my tight end, I got Hunter Henry versus the Bills.
That's a good call. They're one of the top 3 against tight ends every week.
Yep, one of the top 3, and he's just been trending in the wrong direction the last few weeks. He really is end zone dependent, and you've seen Jonnu Smith get some more looks. It's just a bad matchup, so I'm gonna bench him if I have somebody else viable to plug in there.
Well, I think 37% of his points come off touchdown, so that's a that's a 40% mark clip. You're gonna not get a bunch of yards or receptions with him. So I'm with you on that call too. I've got one, Dallas Goedert, 1 point last week. Oh my gosh, this guy just not doing it for you right now in this offense. So Dallas Goedert, and nothing against him. I think the Eagles, I think they get their stride back this week against the Jets, but I don't think it's going to be through Dallas Goedert. I'm just out on Dallas. So
I'm with you. Yeah, that Steelers Ravens game. The Steelers are that's my defense to go ahead and mitigate.
Ravens or the Steelers?
Yeah, versus the Ravens.
Oh yeah, for sure. Steelers. I was going to say that the Ravens are playable too. Against this team. So I like that. I'm going to mitigate them as well. Anybody you're eviscerating from your team this week?
Yeah, the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers should be good.
Yeah, they have bad matchups all the way until the Super Bowl. So they're done. I mean, you could pick them back up versus the Browns maybe in week 17, depending on
last year. The Browns scored like 50 points against them.
Yeah, depending on where the Browns are at that point. But the Steelers, they're playing the Ravens, then they're playing the Vikings, then the Titans, who should be much more healthy at that point. That's going to be a Julio AJ Brown week. Then you have the Chiefs in week 16. So just go ahead and clip them off your roster.
What about Chase Claypool? 3 receptions on 8 targets, man. Oh,
he still had double digits in PPR.
It's so gross to see the efficiency from Big Ben. Not good, Big Ben.
No, it's horrible.
You're ruining a really great player. Imagine if Tom Brady had Chase Claypool instead of Ty Johnson. Oh my gosh. Holy shite. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. I'm not trying to be mean and eviscerate too many people this year, so
yeah, you've been light on the eviscerate list. I have more if you don't have any.
I eviscerated Julio Jones, man. So
yeah, you've done big ones.
Yeah.
You did Allen Robinson and Julio Jones.
Yeah. And guess what? My team's been better off with the players I picked up than Allen Robinson. Ayuk and JD McKissick are better than Allen Robinson. So my team made a good choice, and whoever picked up Allen Robinson and stashing him wishes he was Darnell Mooney, so it is what it is. So, all right. I love that. That was the
wait. I have people I want to talk about. I have some people that I hate that I want to cut them.
Hate? All right, hate them.
Jeff Wilson, he's done. See you later. Bye, Jeff Wilson. I love how Bo said he was the better running back. I hope you're still listening, Bo. You're wrong.
He's flying somewhere.
Incorrect. Bad call. Too spicy. It doesn't taste like anything. It's so spicy.
It's so hot it burns.
It's so spicy it doesn't make sense. Okay.
It's so spicy, it's just hot to be hot.
Yeah. How about this is one of my more controversial ones because usually they're no-brainers. How about Emmanuel Sanders? Is he hot trash now? I mean, he hasn't had a touchdown in like 8 weeks or something like that. I mean, I'm tired of having him on my teams.
Yeah. No, it's not good. I don't know. Dawson Knox for me all the way in that offense. So.
That's what I'm saying. It's with Dawson Knox in the mix. It's like now Gabriel Davis has kind of reemerged. It seems like Emmanuel Sanders is back to being an old man.
Yeah, might be. One day a beautiful carriage, the next midnight has struck, and he's a pumpkin.
He's a pumpkin. All right, that's all I got. That's all I got for this rate.
I like it. That's pretty good. I'm not trying to eviscerate too many people just because, I'm a nice guy, but whatever. Let's check out our DFS stacks of cash. These stacks of cash were big last week. Why don't you run your little victory lap here? Talk about your was it your prime rib or what was it? What was
My sirloin was Burrow and Higgins.
Higgins.
Yeah, Higgins. Yeah, in my DFS, 100 lineups that I've been doing on a weekly basis, he was probably in 50% of my lineups. So that was definitely a good call. Burrow, he got you, what you needed at a 6,200 price point. Just missed on getting that second touchdown to T. Higgins. They called him down at like the 1-inch line.
Yeah,
that would have been that would have made the day a lot different. For both
points there, man.
What's that?
You got 30 points. If you stack them, it's 12 or 10.
Right. So, yeah, that was my sirloin. My filet last week was Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp. They were safe. I think Stafford got 20, Kupp got 18. So they both returned double what you paid for them. I mean, that's what you want. At least this week, I think I featured as my filet. This is week 13 that we're entering into. I think I've probably featured Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp over half of the weeks, and I am doing it again.
You're stealing my guy again, you piece of shite.
I mean, it's just such a safe stack to build your lineups around because it's just guaranteed points. And this week, it's cheaper than it was last week.
Yeah.
Last week, you were left with 33,300 to build your lineups. This week, you get an extra $400. It's 33,700. Yeah. So, you can maybe squeeze in a better tight end or something like that. I just think that it's a no-brainer this week. That'll probably be my chief build in terms of the majority of my lineups. I'm going to be doing a ton of Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, and I will be double stacking with Odell, and I'll be double stacking with Van.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I love that play, and they're both cheaper than Kupp as well. It's significantly thousands cheaper.
Right.
Upside for both of them, 20 plus points. You saw it last week. All right, my guy is the same. It's the same for the filet mignon. So sirloin, you're gonna like my guy in the sirloin. He's a good guy, he's a sexy guy. It's Derek Carr. He's 6K, and he's gonna be paired up with a 5,800. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna take you down to the River Dix, and they're gonna give you a touchdown bonanza against the Washington football team. So it's a stack. It's under 1,200. You're at 11,800. You can do anything you want. You after that, what do you have 39-2 or 38-2? You can just go crazy, kids. Go crazy. Go get Joe Mixon. Go get anybody. So I like Hunter Renfrow and your boy Derek Carr a lot this week. Cheapy cheaps. So what about you in the mid range?
So mine barely qualifies. Yours is definitely a lot cheaper cut of meat. I'm going with Kirk Cousins at 6,500 and Justin Jefferson at 8,200. You're still left with $35,300 to build your lineup. So that's you have decent money. Kirk's price point at 6,500, I guess. He barely slides into this kind of mid-range price. But I think Jefferson at 8,200 is it's as safe a bet as it is with Cooper Kupp. He's just week in, week out, at least doubling his points. So, and then, The Vikings, they get the Lions this week. So, I mean, you can safely assume if he doesn't get any touchdowns, he's going to be in that 15 to 18 point scoring range. And then, man, that guy, I heard Salvetri say this. He thinks he's the second best wide receiver in the league, and I think I agree with him. I think I think it goes Devontae Adams and then Justin Jefferson. I think that guy's unguardable. He has he's just got claws for hands. If the ball's near him, he comes down with it, and then he just gets loose. I mean, he's just so dangerous. So, and then he's got the Lions. So, it's an expensive sirloin, but I'll be doing a lot of builds with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson this week.
I like it. It sounds good. It tastes good in your mouth. So no, I'm down with that. And my cube steak is it's a cheap one. It's not the cheapest, but it's a cheap one. It is going to be costing you around 11.3. It is Jimmy G and Brandon Ayuk, 5,700 and 5,600. There's just going to be volume there for both of them. And, in this matchup against Seattle, they're not the worst defense ever against wide receiver, but it's just the amount of volume that he's going to see. I really do like it. Seattle ranks 20th, 19th or 20th, give about 35 points per game to wide receiver. So there's just going to be opportunity there for him to get the lion's share of those points, 20 points plus in this matchup. I like it. If he gets a touchdown, Jimmy G gets, one to him, one to Kittle. They can pay off at that low price. So, and then you also saw Jimmy G run in 2 touchdowns this year too down there, which was insane. So you just never know in these games. And for that price, I will be dallying with them. So that's where I'm headed. How about you?
You've already mentioned Derek Carr. I'm going cube with Derek Carr at 6,000 and Deshaun Jackson at 4,200.
Oh,
yeah, you got 39.8 to build the rest of your lineup. That's a $10,200 piece of cube meat. And it's a cube. Maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't. But if it does, and then you were able to buy guys like Mixon and Jefferson, and you could get a good tight end, with that cube lineup. So you could probably buy Kittle, if you're building some cubes with that. So it's not something I'm gonna have a ton of exposure on, but it is something that I'm willing to throw into some lineups so that I can do some super builds, because if it hits, oh yeah. If you get another 24-point performance from Deshaun Jackson, you throw in some, Fabian Foster Moreau touchdowns and a Hunter Renfrow touchdown. Oh yeah, baby, come on.
Do I make you horny, baby? Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's go to 3 tweets brought to you by BigTimeFlavor.co. Love us some Big Time Flavor. I put this on anything, everything. The Hot Box Batch, it belongs everywhere. It's a spicy delight that you can make your pizza better, your eggs better, your sandwich better, whatever it is. It just makes it better. I love it. Mike loves it as well. But we love you. I'm going to go first just because it's queued up. This is an honorary one. This really is just, I know you'd like it. It just goes to the patron saint of our show, Denny Carter, one of the patron saints here. I don't know if you saw this, but Devontae Adams tweets out the other day, is it better to be loved or feared? And then Denny just tags on his old tweet from coming up on 4+ years ago, where he says, typical quarterback tweet, love my teammates, God is good. Running back tweet, keep grinding. Tight end tweet, derp. Wide receiver tweet, the enemy speaks kindly and holds a knife. So it just never fails. It's got 38,000 likes. This thing went crazy. So I love Denny. This is one of his most liked tweets of all time, so I had to give him some run on here. This will never get old. This is going to be the best tweet until the end of his days because it lives. It is never going to die. It's evergreen, man. As Bo says, it never goes away. It's just so funny how it's always true. These diva wide receivers are such egos on these motherfuckers that they cannot get away from being in their own heads and saying crazy stuff. So I think it's perfect. But I just wanted to show you that. That's not even my tweet. That's just my warm up for the tweet.
That's your warm up. Okay. I like it though.
Yeah, that was just something I wanted to get you going on. And then here's my real tweet. Speaking of wide receivers, it kind of goes hand in hand. This is our guy, Devontae Adams, and it says Odell Beckham talked to him 2 days ago, and he said he needed a jersey after the game. And so Devontae Adams, he said, I told him to go get Cooper Kupp's jersey since he's obviously his guy, and that's who he wants to be with. So, I mean, just imagine these are like grown men, right? And they're like, and most of the time when you ask another grown man for their jersey, it's like a real respect thing where you're like, yeah, respect, you take it off. So like Devontae Adams is being petty as shit, telling him, go get your man's jersey over there.
Do you remember at the press conference too when he was like he kind of made a weird comment? It was like, what did he get last game? He got 1 catch for 8 yards. Well, we can get him 2 catches for 9 yards. Like,
yeah, he was jealous.
He didn't seem like he wanted him to come with that comment. Like, it was kind of aggressive. It was passive aggressive.
I think he's just being silly, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I thought that too till I saw this.
These wide receivers are divas, man. It's so funny. I love it. They're all divas, except for Terry McLaurin. That guy is the truth. He's not a diva. So that guy's the real deal. All right, how about you? I'm not even trying to win 3 tweets. I'm just trying to be here. Let's have yours come up here. Is this yours here?
Mine's Ray Kump.
Ray Kumpf. Okay, here's Ray. Read Ray.
Right. It says, all right, this is from Ray Kump. Okay. This is non-football. Twitter. Society. This is you read it. Twitter, colon quotations.
Mm-hmm.
Society's collapsing. We're all doomed. Real life. My neighbor is trying to set me on fire, and the crossbow I bought off Amazon doesn't fucking work.
Well, that is real. Your society is collapsing.
I love that.
It's kind of true,
Yeah.
It kind of goes hand in hand,
Right.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. I like it. I like your dark tweets on society. I'm gonna give you the win, my friend.
Okay, good. You're gonna get another Ray Kump one coming at you. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, this is another Ray Kump. The Beetle doc is amazing. Are they still alive? Also, I didn't watch it.
Are they all still alive?
I just found that guy on Twitter. He's hilarious.
I'm gonna have to follow him. Are they all still alive?
Are they all still alive? Also, I didn't watch it.
Also, I didn't watch it. Yeah, I actually listened to EB talking about it today on the Junkies, and he was watching one of the episodes. They played a clip of Paul McCartney just working out a song, and he had never played it before, and it was really moving. It was crazy to hear him create art that later became a hit. You're just like, oh my gosh. And EB kind of went off, just on a little a good tangent, but just a tangent about how creative it was, and then Lawrence just poo-pooed it and was just like,
yeah, are they still alive? Are they all still alive?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
That's exactly what Lawrence. So I went to bed earlier. Right? He doesn't care about them at all.
Right.
And then I think Valdez or one of the producers was just like, it's just incredible. This is art. He doesn't give a shit. So, but on that, we do give a shit. We do appreciate you. Check us out. I'm Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. This is at the Ralph Macho. You can follow us at the FF Millionaires, and then please be a patron to our sponsors. We've got runthesims.com, occupyfantasy.com. We also have Underdog, Prize Picks. Last week, my Prize Picks on Awesemo Show was over 43 and a hook for Elijah Moore. He got 46, 48, 50, something like that. Got you those yards. So do be on the lookout for that. All those are down in the YouTube. Code is Nimble. We're trying to grow the YouTube, so please do like and subscribe on YouTube. Get the word out so we can grow our brand, rake in the millions of cents that we're all trying to grind away and get. But I do want to thank you, Mike. This Thanksgiving, I know we kind of, just passed it, but this last past Thanksgiving, I was super grateful for you, my friend. I couldn't think of a better best friend to have in life or here on the Fantasy Millionaires broadcast with you every Monday. It's my favorite thing to do. Love you, brother.
Love you too, my friend.
Excellent. Get us out of here. Take us home.
All right, everyone. Peace and love. Peace.